We saw your story on Brandon Aiyuk and the 49ers. You want them to get a deal done. Do you think that deal gets done this week? I thought it was going to happen last week. It was like, hey, he's going to go to the Steelers. Actually, no, they're going to work out a deal with the 49ers, and just been silent since then. And then my second part, obviously, I feel like if you have Aiyuk, I think it's still Super Bowl or bust. Do you feel like they could finally get all the way if they get Aiyuk in there?
Wait, Ayuk's not on the Steelers? Because I've seen multiple people tweet out that it's a done deal.
What?
This is done. It's
been a mess, man.
I've seen a lot of people do it. I'm just saying.
Yeah. It has been all over the place. I do feel like this is the week to get it done in order to kind of get him back on the field and start ramping up his activity. So when you get to week 1, you feel like you can get the most out of him. You also have to deal with the Trent Williams issue. He wants more money because of the left tackle market, kind of going past where he's at. And he still feels like he's 36 years old. So you have to kind of figure out how you want to manage that. I would think if you're the 49ers and they have a bunch of cap space going in this year, maybe it makes sense to go ahead and give him some guaranteed money, sprinkle some sugar on his deal for this year. And then if he wants to retire at the end of this year, or if he wants to move on, then you can kind of have a backup plan to figure out, what you're going to do beyond the 2024 season. I think you're all in for this year for the Niners. You do whatever it takes to put the best roster available so that you can go ahead and win a Super Bowl, because nobody's going to care about, whether you gave Aiyuk $35 million a year or you gave Williams a gang of money. Like, nobody's going to care about that if you win the chip. But if you don't, and you didn't do those things, then you're going to be criticized that you weren't all in. So I think you really need to figure out the Aiyuk situation. He is their number 1 receiver. He is the guy that Purdy looks to in critical situations to get things done. And nobody on that roster can do what Aiyuk does on the perimeter. So he's unique. And, the market is the market. It's their fault that they allowed the market to get that far. They could have signed Aiyuk in February and it would have been a lot cheaper than it's going to be now.
Let me ask you something. And we're talking to Eric D. Williams of Fox Sports. Eric, how do I put this? Brock Purdy and the preseason game, are you concerned at all about that? Or is it kind of like we'll see what happens during the regular season? But one of those interceptions was just, I was very surprised he threw that. Is there a little bit of concern in your mind that the 49ers should have in him? Or do you feel like, it's preseason, we'll see what happens during the regular season?
No, I think there's concern. You watched them play and it wasn't great. I know a lot of the starters weren't in there, but the decision making wasn't what you're used to seeing from Brock, in terms of, getting the ball on time, or if he doesn't see it the way that he needs to see it, just throw the ball away. I felt like he was trying to really force the action when he didn't need to. And so, yeah, it is concerning. And the reports that you've been hearing from training camp that he's been throwing a lot of interceptions. Again, I know he's trying things and he's trying to see where he can fit balls in certain windows and trying to give guys opportunities to see what they can do. But yeah, it was a little concerning just watching him play. And I know it's preseason and all that, but a lot of times what you see in preseason can be what you end up seeing in the regular season.
What you just said makes me think that I'm waiting for a shoot and a doggone it after that, just because it sounded a little similar to what somebody else used to say.